fucking hair in my mouth because it's open. Missed. Finally. Antiseptic. Fuck, not this again. I got Flash Dizzy too. Smell like a fruitcake. It smells like a fruitcake. What the fuck am I always doing with it? Okay. We partied on the coast of the ocean with that electrician, Darian. Yeah, we did. Ah, that was fun. I was starting to get really sick though. But we all knew that. That's why we were just partying and people who had like um antique uniforms and shit, they're wearing them. It was always fun. Owen let me live life. That's why he was a keeper. He let me live life. Gotta put some growth stimulants in there, I think. So short. I love that smell. It's like coffee, cocoa. Mixed with nicotine. It's not. Why? Because it just holds on to scents and makes it kind of weird. Something for like before bed. If your man doesn't maul your head all too much, I guess. Or if he does, then it won't break. I've had this discussion. Forgot. My head is flaking. He told me his girlfriend died. Yeah, my head's flaking like all over the fucking place. The neat stuff. So just so you know. Trauma. It made me the sickest. I would say it had to be trauma. Then some more growth serum. So I figure in my last mask. I could use it though. But I could use more. Some Gold Bond. He needs more Gold Bond too. I might not be able to buy a TV. Everyone's gonna be so sad. Should make it fucking happen. I have like this other Gold Bond. It's just not as good. See, I have the age removed too. I have lots of stuff. I should be able to. No, I need this stuff. So I need some Gold Bond.
have time to jump out. He ends up getting tackled by the MPs, and they got him. Jack, being the homie that he is, refuses to rat on anyone, gets 45 days of breaking rocks awaiting his court date, has his court date, gets sentenced, 30 days, bread and water again.
I could honestly eat it for every meal, or just eat it all the time without even stopping. Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat? So he does his time, he gets out, and when he gets out, something's different. There's hundreds of ships now, okay? There's a ton of Navy dudes, way more Marines. All the ships are sending Higgin boats ashore to let all their guys go on leave, get supplies, and so on. And he figures there's hundreds of ships out there. One of them has to have my cousin, Sam Lucas, on it,
I
right?
don't know if
So
they
he
have it.
decides that he's going to hop in one of these Higgins boats and ride out to one of the ships and start asking around, see if he can maybe figure out where his cousin's at. So that's what he does. He just hops onto one of these Higgins boats, gets ferried out to a naval vessel. Nobody's really asking questions or verifying anything. They're going back and forth all day long. It's really not that big of a deal. So he gets onto this U.S. naval ship. It's the USS Duel. He gets up, starts asking around like, hey, does anybody know my cousin? His name's Sam Lucas. And holy shit, the very first ship out of a couple hundred is the same exact ship that his cousin's on. Not only that, but his cousin is on board right now, and he's in the infirmary because he's getting stitches because somebody smashed him in the face with a beer bottle in a bar fight. Apparently it runs in the family. So he goes, he meets up with his cousin, they're having a little reunion, they're hanging out, and the time comes, he should probably, hop back on a Higgins boat and make his way back to the base. He's on leave, but obviously he can't sleep on the ship, he doesn't have a bed here. At which point his cousin Sammy is like, hey, most of us are just sleeping on the deck of the ship anyways, partying. Nobody wants to be like, down in the dungeon where the cops are. It's so nice outside. We're just sleeping out in the open. You can sleep here too. And he's like, okay, perfect. So he just stays the night there. Then while they're hanging out that night, Sam explains to him that they're gearing up for some big, huge island invasion, a massive battle that all these ships are going to be going to. At which point Jack is like, fuck it, I'm staying here. I'm going to stow away on the ship. Nobody's going to notice because there's hundreds of dudes just sleeping on the deck of every ship, and I blend right in. I have a Marine uniform. I look like everybody else. Nobody's going to know that I'm
They don't
here.
fucking
I'm
have
going
it
to
on
stay here
here.
and end up going to battle so I can finally
That's
fight the
stupid.
Japanese. Yet again, going AWOL so that he can go to war. He just starts living on the ship, and this goes on for 29 days. On day 29, his cousin Sam is like, okay, are you sure that you want to do this, dude? Because on day 30, you legit, it's no longer like you were AWOL, you weren't where you're supposed to be in the military. You become a legitimate fugitive, and they're going to send your picture to every sheriff's department in the country. Hearing this, it dawns on Jack, like, oh shit, I really don't want my mom and my family and all my friends seeing me on wanted posters being a fugitive from the law. I better go turn myself in. So he goes to the captain of the ship, explains everything that happened, and the captain is like, bro, this is going to be so much paperwork. Why did you do this on my ship? And the real problem is, this is like a day or two before all the ships are supposed to leave to head off to Iwo Jima. So when the captain runs up his chain of command, talking to his boss, some colonel, and is like, hey, I've got this stowaway that wanted to go and fight the Japanese. The colonel's like, I don't care what you do with them. Just figure out where to put them. At which point, Jack chimes into the conversation. Is like, actually, can I be stationed with the Marines right here on this ship? My cousin's here. It'd be great. At which point, the colonel's like, fucking sure, I don't care. Get out of my office. So at this point, the commander of the ship is like, okay, well, I guess you're with me. I'll get the paperwork squared away, and we're setting sail tomorrow, so I guess fucking find a bunk. So now that original colonel that was the one that decided that Jack was going to stay in Hawaii so that he could keep an eye on him is kind of put in a very difficult situation because in order to stop this transfer, he has to admit that Jack is underage and that he knew about it, which is going to get him in trouble. And that's assuming that
You
he
need
ever even
deodorant
found out
too.
about this in the first place before they set sail, which he probably didn't. Regardless, Jack is now headed on to storm the beach at Iwo Jima at the age of 17. If you don't know, Iwo Jima is one of the bloodiest battles in American history. The island itself is extremely strategically important because A, America needs it to build airfields to be able to bomb mainland Japan, and B, they can't allow Japan to have it because they'll set up radio arrays that are going to be able to give them a 2-hour warning whenever America does try to bomb if they don't have this island. This island is only 8 square miles, and the Japanese have built underground tunnel networks, pillboxes, and artillery positions all over it. There's over 20,000 Japanese soldiers there that have all been ordered that they are required to kill 10 Americans before they die themselves. The battle takes place in February of 1945, but the Americans have been bombing it and shelling it with naval gunfire since November of 1944. By the time the Marines got there to launch their amphibious landing, many of them described the island as looking like a burnt pork chop with no signs of life anywhere. Despite that, most of the Japanese soldiers survived by hiding in their underground cave networks. So bombing's not going to work. They're going to have to send in the Marines to clear out these caves in close quarters combat. Let me tell you, back in Grandpa's day, they did CQB a little bit different. During the attack, forces are pretty much going to be split in half. Half the forces are going to be taking over Mount Suribachi, and the other half are going to make their way north so they can take over the airfield. And Jack is going to be in the second wave landing on Red Beach, meaning that he will be making his way north to attack the airfield. The first wave launches and it's anticlimactic. There's no gunfire, there's no artillery, it's just the sound of the ocean and the roar of the engine. And some of the Amtraks and Higgins boats start making their way onto the beach and offloading their troops. And get onto the beach, and that is when the Japanese attack. The Japanese intentionally let the Marines reach the beach before opening fire. That way they could create a bottleneck similar to a traffic jam. Ended up causing Amtraks and Higgins boats to crash into one another, sinking the boats in place. And now the second wave isn't able to launch because they're going to get hung up on all the wreckage of the other Higgins boats and Amtraks. Every square inch of this beach is covered by overlapping fields of machine gun fire and artillery, and the only place the Marines have to take cover is inside the craters created by the bombings from America in the months prior. Initially, it's chaos, but eventually the Marines were able to get organized enough to start having crews go out and start moving the wreckage of the Higgins boats and the Amtraks, clearing a way for the second wave to make a landing. And after the 2 longest hours in these guys' lives, they finally launched the second wave. Jack is right now on the Higgins boat. He said the only thing he could hear was the roar of the engine and machine gun fire. Nobody was talking. He was literally sitting shoulder to shoulder with other men, and he felt completely alone. It was the loudest silence he'd ever heard in his entire life. For whatever reason, maybe he got too excited, or maybe he was concerned that he was going to crash into the wreckage of another Higgins boat. The coxswain driving Jack's Higgins boat dropped the door too early. All the Marines run out and sink into the water up to their chest. But Jack, at 5'8" on the shorter side, is stuck in the water up to his chin, and he has to look up to be able to breathe as he tries to run through the ocean into gunfire. He ends up making it to the beach, and he's there pinned down for 2 hours. And then he said after 2 hours, he just came to the realization that if he heard the explosion, it had already missed him, and whatever was going to take him out, he was never going to know about. And other Marines were starting to realize this too, as they just became immune to the fear of this fight, and they all got up and started advancing forward, inch by inch, for hours. Jack keeps pushing, and he keeps pushing, and he finally makes it to the very, very front of the front line. And as soon as he gets there, he is immediately sent back to the very base of the beach to receive a heavy machine gun with another Marine. Jack's pissed. He finally made it to the front line. He was finally going to get to engage the enemy, which has been his dream for like the past 4 years. But this isn't the time to argue. It's not the time to fight. He just turns back around, runs down the beach to get this gun. It's time to get shit done. Him and the other Marine get down there. They find a heavy machine gun. It's on a 2-wheel cart with a T-handle, so one guy on each side, and they're supposed to run it up the beach. The problem is the beach is made out of volcanic ash, and Jack said every single step forward he took, the ash moved beneath his feet 2 steps back. He said he felt like he was running up a hill made out of wheat. It takes Jack and his other Marine a while to get this gun moved up the beach, and once they get it there, they are both absolutely smoked. But the sun's already starting to go down, so everybody just kind of takes cover for the night and sets up defenses. It's the longest night of everybody's life. Nobody actually gets any sleep. The temperature drops. They're all wet. They're all cold. They're all shivering. The Japanese are known for launching banzai attacks. At this point in the war, Japan had abandoned that practice because they didn't have enough men to go 1-for-1 with America anymore. But at this point, the Marines don't know that, so they're constantly on edge. Every noise out there could be them lurking up to launch a banzai attack and try to bayonet them. In addition to that, that also makes them want to stay extremely quiet because they don't want to get mistaken for the Japanese sneaking up on anybody by another Marine in a different foxhole. So they're all just sitting there, shivering, cold, wet, dead quiet, waiting. Morning finally comes and they start making their way towards the airfield. The closer they get, the more and more enemy resistance they encounter. They start getting in a firefight here, a firefight there. And once they get close to the airfield, they actually end up taking over a Japanese trench that had been abandoned because the Japanese knew they were coming and fled into their cave network. Jack and his fire team absolutely were not about to try to follow them into the cave, so they just held their guns, pointed at the cave entrance, and called up a flame-throwing Sherman tank from the back. As the Sherman made its way there, the Japanese inside saw it coming and ran out of the cave, at which point Jack and his fire team opened fire. Jack shot one, and then he shot another, and then his gun jams. Jack ducks down into the trench to unjam his weapon, and at that moment he sees 2 Japanese grenades sitting in the trench between him and the guy in front of him. At this point, Jack has 50 questions, and he has to answer all of them in the span of a couple of milliseconds. Did the Japanese leave those grenades there? Are the pins still in them? Did they throw them in and we didn't notice because of the firefight and there's all kinds of crazy shit going on? If they did pull the pins and throw them into the trench, how long have they been there? Those grenades only have a 4-second fuse. Do I have time to yell grenade and have everybody get out of this trench? If I yell, are they going to hear me over the sound of this firefight? He doesn't know, so he has to assume the worst and that grenade is going to explode in a second. And with that, he accepts the fact that he is going to die in this trench at 17 years old. And the only question left is, does he want to die by himself, or does he want everybody else in the trench to die with him? Because right now, he is the only one that knows, and he is the only one that can do anything about it. And that's not a real question to begin with. So he immediately dives on the first grenade, using his chest to drive it into the volcanic ash, reaches over, grabs the second grenade, and pulls it into his chest as he screams grenade, and they blow up.
We decided to implement NetSuite because of the complexity of the business. I have 5 times as many people outside of finance using NetSuite as I have within finance.
At Wayfair, delivery and setup can be as easy as, well, doing nothing.
Hey Canada, it's barbecue and backstage at Montana's. Dig into our new Surf's Up platter, retro rewind clubhouse, and notorious brisket dinner. Giddy up for a chance to win a trip to YQM Country Fest with Bud Light. Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
At Money Mart, we're more than just a quick money fix. We're part of your neighborhood.
I needed cash fast. I filled out a quick application, got approved, and walked out with money. It was that simple.
At Money Mart, we say yes when others say no.
Hundreds of pieces of shrapnel have launched into his body as the force of the explosion flips him like a 180-pound pancake. He lands flat on his back. He feels like he's underwater. He can't move. Everything's numb and tingly. He hears a very loud, high-pitched ringing with the faint noise of a gunfight that's right next to him unfolding. After a few seconds, he feels the 2 Marines behind him step over what they presume to be his dead corpse as they continue to advance towards the enemy, and suddenly Jack is alone. Unable to move, the only thing he can do is focus on spitting out and swallowing the blood currently running down his throat so that he doesn't drown. He's not sure how long he was alone, but he remembers being alone long enough to start praying to God to not let him bleed out. And then, more Marines hop in the trench, a whole fire team. With them is a Navy corpsman, a medic, Doc. And what this foreman sees is a 180-pound Marine covered from head to toe in blood. His clothes are completely shredded. His arm is mangled. He has one eye hanging outside of his skull by the optic nerve, and he is holding a grenade in his other hand. Apparently that one was a dud, and Jack had no idea that he was still holding on to it. The corpsman, not knowing the status of this grenade, acts fast. He grabs the grenade out of Jack's hand and throws it into the adjacent ditch that he presumes is empty, and then 2 Japanese soldiers pop out and attack. The corpsman ends up killing both of them, and then he immediately goes to work on Jack. He does everything he can for him on the spot. He gives him a morphine syringe. He shoves his eye back into his skull. He stops as much bleeding as possible, and then he gets 2 more Marines to grab a litter and start hauling Jack back to the beachhead where they have an aid station set up. At this point, Jack is still wide awake and still completely unable to move. He watches 2 Marines carry his 180-pound body through the same exact volcanic ash that he was dragging that heavy machine gun up the day prior. Both these guys are completely smoked, but they're doing everything they can to help Jack out. And then eventually one of them trips and drops the litter. Jack falls off, smokes his head on a rock. But at this point, what's one more injury? He makes it to the aid station, gets intubated while he's awake, which is not a pleasant experience, and then he finally gets knocked out. Next thing he knows, he wakes up on a hospital ship. He's so doped up on drugs, time is completely relative. He can't tell the difference between days and hours. But he does remember the doctor coming in and explaining to him that the only reason that he's here is because the volcanic ash mixing with his blood acted like a super coagulant and prevented him from bleeding out. Then next thing he knows, they're getting him ready for another surgery. He doesn't know how many surgeries he's already had. He just knows that the doctor told him this time that the infection is spreading and they might have to amputate his arm. So Jack begs the doctor to try to save his arm and do everything he can, and the doctor reluctantly agrees. Jack wakes up from the surgery, his arm's in a cast, and the doctor comes in and is like, okay, here's the deal. As a last Hail Mary to try to save your arm, we've taken some maggots and put the maggots in your infected wounds, and the maggots are ideally going to eat away all the infection and be able to save your life. Next thing he knows, he's on his way to Guam. Once he gets to Guam, he's in this hospital bay with like 5 other Marines, and then they go to take his cast off for the first time since he had it put on. And when they take it off, it is completely full of gray and yellow pus, and he said it was the most horrendous thing he has ever smelled in his entire life. All the other wounded Marines in this bay got up and left, and one of them literally had to crawl on the ground because he was so messed up. And he did it just to get away from the smell. And Jack said it was so bad that he didn't blame any of them at all. He then ends up getting sent back to California, where he undergoes over 20 surgeries. Over the course of these surgeries, they remove over 250 pieces of shrapnel from his body, ranging in size from a 22 caliber bullet. And that's just the shrapnel that they were able to get out. He will live the rest of his life with 8 pieces of shrapnel permanently lodged in his brain, 6 in his right lung, and over 100 pieces throughout the rest of his body. In addition to that, he now also has what he describes as tattooing all over his chest and arms because the volcanic ash was rocketed into his flesh and his wounds and is now healed into his skin. From there, he gets sent closer to home to a hospital in Charleston, South Carolina, where he undergoes a ton of PT, and he ends up getting medically discharged from the Marine Corps in September of 1945. And with that, he goes back home to Plymouth, North Carolina to live with mom. And he's there for a couple of weeks, and he gets a phone call that he needs to report to Washington, D.C. on October 5th, 1945. So he shows up to D.C., he's informed that they're having a huge ceremony where President Truman is going to give him and 14 other people the Medal of Honor. So he's waiting in line with all the other Medal of Honor recipients during this big ceremony. It's his turn, he goes up, President Truman puts the Medal of Honor around his neck, goes to shake his hand. When he goes to shake his hand, he grabs his hand, and then he grabs his shoulder, and it's the shoulder of his bad arm. And President Truman doesn't know this, but he is firmly grabbing his shoulder and digging his thumb directly into one of the still very fresh, very open wounds inside of his arm. And Jack is doing everything he can to keep his face straight for the camera, but inside, he's just dying, just... At this point, President Truman, with his thumb still inside Jack's wound, goes, "Son, I would rather have this medal than be the President of the United States." At which point, Jack is like, I'll trade you. With that, Truman kind of chuckles and sends him on his way, and now Jack is basically a celebrity. He is the youngest person of World War II to earn the Medal of Honor. He is the youngest Marine of all time to earn the Medal of Honor, and everybody knows his name. He's in all the newspapers. He's going to all these parties, all these events. He's going on war bond drives. He is having the time of his life. He's also doing a bunch of interviews, and one of the interviews he does is a national radio broadcast, and in this interview, he hits
Well,
on
now I need
requesting
fucking
that people
Tylenol.
all over
Leg
America
pain.